are going through really similar things right now because everything's crazy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Kids Are Talking. I'm Michael, and we have a great show lined up for you guys today. We are talking love, sex, and relationships with kids. It's going to be a fantastic show, a lot different from the other ones. It's a real great subject. If you're out there, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and you'll get updates on all the new episodes that are coming out. As you're watching, please, submit your comments in the chat thread, and we'll try to bring them into the show. We love to have this as an interactive show, so please participate. And if you want to participate in a future show, just let us know. You can also visit us at kidsaretalking.live, and you can reach out to us there. So without any further ado, let me introduce everybody to Dr. Don, family therapist, author of 9 books, really awesome guy, expert on relationships, and art collector, and who knows what else. Dr. Don.
That's nice, Mike.
How you doing?
There are a lot of things you could say, but one thing we want to say tonight is this is 3 shows in one.
It is.
It's clearly 3 shows in one, because who doesn't think and talk about love and question what it means to them? Who doesn't think about sex? And so many of us don't talk about it. And of course, relationship. Being the social animals, Desmond Morris, an anthropologist in the 1960s, said, we are social animals. And then there are the Beatles, the good old Beatles. They said, all you need is love.
That's true.
All you need is love, right?
Hey, Don, did you hear that one about the therapist that was shopping for furniture?
No.
Yeah, so there's this therapist, right? He was doing group therapy, so he went out shopping for furniture for his office, and he went to this one particular furniture place, and he said to the guy, he's like, I need a really big sofa for my group therapy. And the furniture salesman says, well, this sofa right here, it'll fit 5 people without any problems. The therapist says, yeah, that's not the kind of people that are sitting on my sofa.
So what do you think that he meant by that?
There's no people without any problems sitting on a sofa.
All right. So
everybody's got problems. That's what it means.
Everybody
right?
has problems, and everybody loves. Everybody has sex, or most people have sex, and most people have relationships. But I guess I can't speak in absolutes, because that's one of the things we're going to learn about tonight. There are degrees of all of those.
Yeah. Well, let's have a quick word from our sponsors.
One more thing.
Oh. Okay.
One more thing. I must mention the book that changed my life and just made me want to be a therapist. And I was a freshman, sitting in my bedroom, not knowing what am I going to be when I grow up. And I picked up a book by Erich Fromm called The Art of Loving.
Oh, okay.
And this was the most brilliant, amazing. I thought I had found the Holy Grail when he said, you have to love yourself before you can love anybody else. So just remember that I've just introduced that as we get into the show tonight, because Erich Fromm changed my life.
The Art of Love.
The Art of Loving.
Oh, of Loving.
It was called The Art of Loving, but he said you cannot love others unless you love yourself. And I'm thinking,
I agree.
Wow.
I agree.
That was an interesting idea from a guy who used to play basketball. And I said, maybe that's something I could really explore in my undergraduate studies, and it really is. Thank you, Erich Fromm.
Okay.
So now you want to go to the sponsors. You go ahead.
Yeah, let's have a quick word from the sponsors,
All right,
and then we'll go bring the kids on stage.
Kids Are Talking is sponsored by Paradigm Financial Partners. Align your values and financial goals. Build your wealth and financial security for a rich and satisfying life with Paradigm Financial Partners. Kids Are Talking is sponsored by M&D Properties at Compass. Let this nationally award-winning real estate team help expertly guide you with all of your real estate needs.
Well,
Welcome to the show, everybody.
okay, all you need is love. So that's going to be the mantra tonight. Is that true that all you need is love? And let's meet all these three young folks, wise old souls. And I guess what we'll do is start with you, Chris. And I think it'll help people, as we get into the show, to know everybody's pronoun. So,
Yeah.
Chris, why don't you first tell us what your pronoun is?
Yeah. My name's Chris, for you guys who don't know me. I use he, him, his pronouns.
Can you explain that to people? Because they get very confused with what pronouns mean.
Yeah. Pronouns, everybody has pronouns. It's just kind of the English language. It's how we refer to people without saying their names. So if someone was to refer to me, I prefer to be referred to with he, him, or his pronouns.
And I think you would refer to yourself as a cisgender person. Or
Yes.
Yeah. And I think for those of you who still don't really understand what these, I think maybe I can take a risk and say that you are in a relationship with a woman.
Yes, I am.
So I can get away with that?
Yeah.
All right. Just want to make sure. Dylan, welcome.
Hi.
And tell us a little bit about your pronouns and who you are.
My name's Dylan. I'm she, her pronoun, and I'm in a relationship with a man. And yeah.
Well, we'll want to hear about that at some point very soon. Okay. And then we have Eunice. I got it right. It's Eunice. I practiced it all before the show, Eunice. All right.
Yeah.
So you were on before.
Yep.
And you're back. And I'm so glad because there's so much more I wanted to ask you, and we ran out of time, so we get you back. So tell us what your pronoun is and where you come from.
Okay. My name is Eunice. I go by she, her pronouns. Sometimes, although sometimes I also go by they, them. And yeah, I am pansexual and I'm currently not in a relationship.
Can you say that last part again?
I'm currently not in a relationship.
Yeah. So let's start with you, because pansexual, people are very confused by what that is. And I'm so appreciative that you're here tonight so people don't have to be so confused and we can all learn and be more understanding about what that is. So does that mean you don't get involved in monogamous relationships, or what does that really mean in terms of your dating and your relationships and love, and what that means for you?
So to me, it means pansexuality. I said this before in our previous episodes, but pansexuality is different for everyone. Personally, pansexuality to me means that I do not see the gender binary when it comes to my relationships and my future relationship. So I can date anyone outside of the binary. And yeah.
So does that mean you ever get into a monogamous relationship with anybody, or does that mean you just stay open and love freely?
Yeah, so I guess the best way to compare the meaning of pansexuality when it comes to textbook definitions is, bisexuality means you're attracted to a man or a woman,
right,
and both. But pansexuality means you're attracted to any of the genders out there. So it does not necessarily mean that you are not monogamous or that you are monogamous. That's their choice. But for me, I have been in monogamous relationships.
And you have been.
Yes. And I am not polyamorous, which is the opposite of monogamous.
Can you tell people what that? Can you tell people what polyamorous is for those people who don't know what that is?
Yeah, polyamorous just means basically the opposite of monogamous, which is you're in a relationship with more than one person. It is not an open relationship where you're allowed to just have sex with other people. It's more like you're in a real loving committed relationship with multiple people.
That's polyamorous.
Yes.
And so how would you differentiate yourself from polyamorous in the relationships that you have?
Yeah, well, I'm not polyamorous and I'm monogamous. Is how I would describe
Okay.
it.
And when you say, so you could be with a man, a woman, even transgender, I guess that would include the different categories, or anything else that would add to the kind of people you would be involved with, or with those three, that would be the three.
Yeah.
Anything else? Or?
Less of like I can be with any gender, more like I just don't apply my sexual or romantic attraction to someone because of their gender.
And where does love come into play for you in terms of deciding who you want to be with? What are some of the attractions or qualities that you want in that person that you're going to see?
Well, to be honest, I don't know if other people can even answer that question. Like, how do I find love in a person? I don't really know. I just know that I am attracted romantically and sexually to anyone out there, anyone who exists.
Do they have to possess certain qualities? Is it physical attraction? Is it personality? Is it same ideology, chemistry?
A bit of everything, really. Yeah. I guess how I see it is as when, for someone who is a straight person, they would see the physical attraction as, oh, they are beautiful because they're a woman and they're beautiful as a woman. But for me, it's more of like, that is a beautiful person because they are just a person.
You're drawn to what's inside of them.
Yeah, I guess it is more of what's inside of them, although I do become I still become easily attracted to people when it comes to physically. It's more of like how they dress themselves. Like a man who wears makeup, that is so attractive to me. A woman who is more masculine representing, even though masculine representing applies more to men, is also attractive to me. Yeah.
Have you ever been in a serious relationship that was something that you wanted to commit for a long period of time to? Has that happened in your life?
Yes, it has. Just once.
How was that for you?
It was great. It was a learning experience for sure, on just how like every first relationship is for everyone.
And how long ago was that?
I was in high school, and I'm going into my third year of college. So
do you think do you have any relationship? Do you ever speak to that person anymore, or it just ended? It's over?
Yeah, I'm still friends with that person.
That's nice. So you're open to anything is what I'm hearing. And you would be in a relationship if it only happened to you once. So I guess that must have been pretty special.
Yes, it was.
So do you think the Beatles are right that all you need is love, or is love too abstract to address?
I think it's a little abstract. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it is all you need.
We'll try to make it less abstract as we go along. But thank you for what you just shared with us.
No problem.
So now we'll move over to Dylan. Right,
Yeah.
Dylan? So
Yeah.
tell us about your love life and how you feel about the men in your life, and your current boyfriend who is he?
He is Dominican. He just came to the U.S. About a year ago, so he's learning English more and more every day. My past relationship, I've been in multiple interracial relationships, which have been, a really big learning experience for me. My longest relationship was like 5-6 months ago, and it was like an interracial relationship, and it was just, yeah.
So what do you think about that you seem to be getting involved in interracial relationships? Is that just a coincidence, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just my type or just what I'm into. I don't know. I mean, I don't really have I don't really care like what skin color they are. Like, I'm attracted to everyone, like in that like skin color aspect, but it's just what I seem to be drawn to the most, I guess.
So what do you look for? What is it that draws you in to your partner?
Mostly personality.
Personality. Looks have a factor or not?
Oh yeah, they do. But I mean, I want someone who I can laugh with and be funny with, and
Right.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So how long you been with this guy you're seeing now?
It's still new. It's almost been like 2 months.
And you're enjoying it.
Yes, I am.
Is he watching tonight?
I think he might, probably. Maybe.
Okay. Well, hello.
He can submit a comment if he disagrees with you.
Yeah, right. If he disagrees, he'll send a comment into the chat. All right. Thanks, Dylan. And then there's Chris, by popular demand, back again.
Yeah.
A face of Kids Are Talking. And
A veteran panelist.
So, Chris, tell us about your love life.
I'm in a relationship with my girlfriend. It's been almost 7 months. And I'm really enjoying it. It's been pretty healthy.
And what is so enjoyable and healthy about it?
I think how comfortable we are with each other is really important. It's something that we kind of grew together in and kind of developed as we got to know each other better.
Did you meet during COVID?
You did, yeah.
We did meet. How did that happen? I think people would be interested in that story.
Yeah, I think she went to my school, so I knew her through there, and we started talking on social media, and things kind of just went from there. She was actually the first person I broke quarantine for.
So you had a very sexy, fun COVID.
Yeah, it definitely added some, another person into my life then.
Very nice. Very, very nice. So why do you all think this is a good show to be on? Chris, what do you think? What do you think it's a good show? We've been on a couple of others. What do you think is important about this show for people to hear and talk about?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff we're covering tonight is really important. It kind of goes hand in hand with all the other things we talked about too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be a good continuation of our discussions.
Yeah. So you think love is, what do you think about what the Beatles say about all you need is love? How important is it to feel love?
It's definitely important. I don't know if it's everything, but it definitely helps feeling love and giving love back.
Yeah, so let's talk about love. I think this is one of the problems. I mentioned Eric Fromm in my introduction, this guy that got me into psychology. He talks about you have to love yourself before you can love others. What do you think of that, Eunice, about self-love? And can we love others if we don't love ourselves?
I think it's a very popular saying, and it's been around for a really long time, but I mostly disagree with it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because it's not impossible for someone to love you if you don't love yourself, especially when that person is going through something mentally, or they have some kind of mental illness like depression that causes them to think different about themselves and for them to not love themselves all the time. And another person, not that it's their job to save them, but another person could definitely highlight verbally or physically how much that person should be loved and why that person is still lovable.
So actually, I think about that sometimes too. That you think like if you're with somebody that really appreciates you, respects you, has empathy for you, because by the way, I think respect and empathy are key ingredients to make a relationship work. Even if you're not in a great place with yourself, and actually might even be having a hard time, like you say, if somebody can be drawn to you, that might enhance and help you feel better about yourself. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Personally, I would like to talk about a personal experience in my past relationship, if that's okay. Yeah. So as someone who is diagnosed with depression and some other mental health problems, the last relationship I was in helped me a lot in loving myself and working in that journey. And as long as there are boundaries and as long as boundaries are communicated, I think it is definitely possible for someone to love you even though you don't love yourself.
And can you be more specific about that in terms of the boundaries and how that personal experience brought that out for you?
Yes, for sure. A very important boundary is to express that you're going through this mental health problem and it is preventing you from seeing all the good aspects of yourself and preventing you from loving yourself to the level that other people love themselves. And yeah, once that's communicated and once the other person communicates back, like, I understand that, I still want to stay with you, I think that could be a really healthy relationship.
Yeah, I mean that really speaks a lot to the fact that when someone respects you and you can be really open and transparent with them, which it sounds like you were with this person. Is this the most recent relationship or a relationship that the one that happened years ago? This person.
Both. I've only been in one relationship. Yeah.
So that's great. So what happened for you there is you found yourself being really accepted and felt comfortable and safe being able to be yourself and be vulnerable and open about what you were going through. And that really worked.
Yeah. And even when the relationship was over, I thought to myself, well, if one person can love me, there will definitely be other people out there.
That's a beautiful thing. And this person, when did this relationship happen and when did it end?
Yeah. So it happened in my senior year of high school. And
this is the one you were talking about, yeah.
Yes, and it went up to my freshman year of college.
So I'm really impressed, by the way, this is also a very mature thing, is that not everybody, after they've stopped seeing somebody, can stay friends with them. I'm always impressed with people that can continue their relationships. What ended the relationship?
I think just the fact that we were going into college and we were changing. Yes. The person that I was in a relationship with, they realized it earlier that we were both changing, and so it was better for us to end things and kind of go on this journey on our own. I realized it a bit later, so it was definitely a wake-up call for me, to be like, I can't have this person attached to me and at the same time do my college stuff. So
you came to a little bit later. Yes. And then I assume you grew apart and then found out you could be friends, but that's what it is now.
We actually stayed friends from the very beginning.
Friendship is important, so that was first, right?
Yeah, that was definitely first. Our friendship was definitely first when it came to breaking up. So
I think I should ask both of you the same thing, Chris. Best friendship, being really friends with your partner, that really is important, isn't it?
I think that's one of the most important things.
And what makes that so important?
Well, I think like any basis for a friendship is kind of the same basis you want in a relationship. You want to feel comfortable with your friends. You want to be able to tell your friends anything. Kind of same thing goes to your partner. So I think those go hand in hand.
And for you, Dylan, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, you want that foundation kind of first, so it's not like you're just kind of going in completely blind. At least get to know the person a little bit and become friends. And
have really good communication.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you both, Chris, do you think self-love is an important ingredient to really be in a healthy relationship?
I don't think it has to be.
You agree
like Eunice said,
like what Eunice said.
Yeah, exactly. Your partner can help you work through that. It does not have to be there for you to love somebody else. Yeah.
And Dylan, do you agree or disagree with that?
It's kind of both. Like, I understand what they're both saying, and I completely agree. But I also think it's very important to love yourself, and your partner won't be able to help you through, and it could turn into being negative in your relationship and not end well.
But with your guy right now, I'm assuming you guys really talk, and like what Eunice was saying, to be open and be free to be who you are and not keep secrets and just be vulnerable and open makes a difference.
Oh yeah, it definitely makes a difference if both people are open.
Eunice, So this person you're still friends with, like, so what did you discover when you decided to grow apart, and like, how come you didn't go back to each other? What made you realize that's not where you wanted to go?
I think for me personally, I kind of just realized I don't want to be in a relationship at all.
Hmm.
And I don't know where they are on that road. I don't know if they want to be in a relationship with another person or they don't want to be at all. But I respect either choice.
Mm-hmm.
But just for my personal preference, I would not want to be in a relationship right now or in college in general, really.
Is there any particular reason why you do not want to be in a relationship right now?
Yeah, actually, I tried to talk to other people while I was in college because maybe, you meet so many different people in college. So maybe you will find the one in college. But I realized as I was talking to these people, I was kind of just like getting tired. And I was like, I really just want to kind of focus on my studies, focus on my family, um, and just focus on plans for myself rather than for myself and for a partner.
Does that mean that sex is something that you can engage in and still have with different people, even though you're not in a serious relationship with them?
Yeah, I would say sex in a relationship is separate. I mean, of course, they both can be put together. They both usually are put together, but me and a lot of other people out there, I think, can separate sex and committed relationships. So
And enjoy that. Even have sex with
yeah,
sex with benefits. Like, that's the term
yeah,
I heard, where you can be friends.
Friends with benefits.
What's that, Mike?
It's friends with
Oh,
benefits.
did I say sex?
Yeah.
I meant friends with benefits.
I think the sex is the benefit.
Friends with benefits. Yes, thank you, Mike. Yes. So, how important, Dylan, is the sexual relationship for you?
Like in a relationship?
Yeah, in a relationship. Yeah, and what makes for a good sexual relationship?
I don't know. Me personally, like I don't need sex like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like it is what it is, kind of. Like, I don't. It doesn't really matter to me that much. I don't need it to like.
How about your partner? Does it matter to him?
I think, yeah.
So that raises an interesting question. What do you do in a relationship where one person wants sex more than the partner, and then how do you work that out with each other so you can both be happy with each other?
Well, it's not that I don't like. I just don't really not care, but like I don't really care if I don't. I don't really care if I do. So if he's more prone to having sex, then I'll do it. You know what I mean? It's not that I don't want to do it, or he's like forcing or anything, but like then I'll just go with what he goes. If I'm with someone who doesn't as much, then I'll just go with that kind of. Like it doesn't really matter to me at all.
So if that's something he wants to do, you care enough about him. Could I say you love him?
Yeah.
Love him. You would do that to please him, and you would enjoy it, but he just wants it more and has more of a desire for it.
Yeah.
And Chris, how about your relationship?
Well, I think communication is the biggest thing, especially when it comes to sex and relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I think if both partners have healthy communication, you can kind of establish what needs to be done to satisfy both people's needs. And so I definitely think you don't have to have sex in a relationship. It's just kind of what you and your partner want.
How important this is an interesting thing. I always wanted to, no one talks about this, but how important is kissing in a relationship? Because, sex can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. It can be penetration, but sex doesn't have to me, it's a broad term. How important is touch and kiss between two people?
I think
you start with that question, Chris. Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. I think it comes down to what the person wants. Some people like physical touch more than others. So if that is something you like, then you communicate that with your partner, and hopefully you can, have your desires met.
And kissing, and so you see the value and the importance of kissing and touch.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know you are a man that likes that.
Yeah, I think I definitely appreciate physical touch. I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with love languages.
Yeah, why don't you do that? I like that love language thing. Why don't you tell us all about love language?
Yeah, I believe it was a psychological term that was like kind of gained popularity recently. How to describe how you show affection and how you receive affection. So for me, physical touch is how I receive affection. It's how I am most receptive to it. The other categories are words of affirmation, which could be like hearing "I love you" a lot, or hearing how much your partner cares about you. And quality time is also another one. I might be missing one. I don't know. Someone can correct me.
What else is there, Eunice? Is there another one, Eunice?
Gift giving.
Yep, that's it.
What was that?
Yes, that's 4.
Gift giving.
Giving?
Gift giving, yeah.
Yeah. So there's acts of service, gift giving, physical touch, and words of affirmation.
Being thoughtful, mindful of the other, all of those things are probably really nice. How about gazing?
There's 5 of them.
Oh, is there a fifth?
There's 5th.
Yeah,
What's
it's
the 5th one, Mike?
affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, and receiving gifts.
Receiving? Is that the 5th one, Mike? Receiving?
Yeah, acts of service, I think, is the one that they missed, and then receiving gifts.
Receiving gifts. What do you think about that, Eunice and Dylan? Eunice, tell us, what do you think about what Chris is saying about those 5 pieces of love?
I kind of wanted to ask Dylan and Chris, what are their love languages? Both giving and receiving. I think Chris already said it, so Dylan.
Yeah, I like to get physical touch and all that.
You like physical touch?
Yeah, and I guess I'm kind of like the same way. Like I give physical touch as well, so I guess kind of both. I mean,
it's nice. It's nice. So you all know about oxytocin. Who wants to tell us about what oxytocin is? Well, there it is on the screen. But oxytocin, some of us have more oxytocin than others. It sounds like that might be the case. Chris, you certainly have a lot of oxytocin.
Yeah, I definitely.
Me too, by the way.
Yeah, I like physical touch in a relationship.
Yeah.
I'm very receptive to that. But I also like giving physical touch to my partner, but that's not her love language, so that's something I had to come to learn.
So
the way she receives love and is most common for her is gift giving. So I do that to show my love.
And she's good with that, so you've worked out a compromise. So she touches you because you like touch, and you give her the gift giving.
Right.
And that's how you figured that one out. How about you, Dylan?
Yeah, I think it's like my boyfriend gives me a bunch of, physical touch all the time. And he's also very physical touch and
it's nice.
Words of affirmation as well.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Eunice, you're smiling. What do you want to say about this particular subject?
Oh, no, I just thought it was cute that the way they're talking about their relationships. Sounds
sweet.
Very healthy.
Really
yeah. So for giving acts of service and for receiving gift giving, for me, physical touch is very hard for me when it comes to it takes me a while, although I have been working on it and I have gotten more comfortable with it. But physical touch is it takes some time for me.
So what is that? What's that about for you? How come it was difficult and now it's getting less difficult for you?
I think it's just that, not that I hate it, but it's just that I don't think about it. A lot of my friends, I know a lot of my friends are physical touch when it comes to love language. And they're always asking me like, "Oh, can I hold your hand?" And I'm like, "Oh, sorry." And it catches me off guard because I just don't think that people would want to touch me or would want to hold my hand.
Really?
I just don't think about it. It's just I don't know if it might have to do with something with my culture because I'm Filipino and our culture we don't touch a lot. When we greet people, we don't hug, we don't shake hands. We kind of just hey. So yeah, I guess it has something to do with my culture and the fact that there's not a lot of physical touch that I'm surrounded by.
So what's helping you to get better with that? You said you're getting better with it.
Yeah, I think it's just like seeing how people react to when I hold their hands or when I give them a kiss on the cheek. The way that they react, and they react so sweetly, so like lovable. It's kind of like, oh, like this person likes this. I kind of want to encourage that, and I kind of want to do that for them. So yeah.
A lot of empathy in the room tonight. A lot of respect, empathy. I think some people out there might say, hey, do I have that? I don't have that. But I certainly can see if they're listening to you, you want to have it. You're going to increase the expectations for it. So how about foreplay? Let me tell you what I mean about foreplay. Like creating a mood, like, music, sitting. Dylan, you seem to like this. I see that you're so foreplay, like like putting the candles around the bathtub, or maybe putting some nice music on, maybe dancing, before you go to bed or before dinner, or watching a sexy, like this new show that's on Netflix that everybody likes, Sex Life. I don't know, whatever turns you on. What about foreplay? How important is that in a relationship?
I think setting the mood is important. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want to just
jump into bed.
Yeah, no. I think definitely like doing something, or like whether it's something small or something, not like, I definitely, for me at least, I think it's very, very important.
Probably good conversation, maybe touch, laughing.
Like anything, like just something rather than just getting in there and getting, doesn't work for me.
How about you, Chris?
Yeah, I think I'm the same way. Foreplay is definitely appreciated. It's a level of effort, I think, that goes into it, a level of thought. It's definitely appreciated.
So foreplay is important. And Eunice, for you?
Yeah, I would say it's important, especially because it ties a lot into romance, and romance is like such an important thing when it comes to being in a relationship. So, yeah.
Did we answer the question about kissing? I don't know if I got an answer on that in terms of how important kissing is in a relationship. Did I get that? Did I get answers from you guys on that? I'm not sure.
Kind of.
Yeah.
We kind of
I feel like I want to go back to that, because I think of that as foreplay, and I really have to believe, I've never done a research study on it, that a lot of couples don't kiss. They don't gaze. The gaze. They don't look at each other when they kiss. They don't look at each other when they're not kissing. They don't really do that. What do you think about that, Eunice? We'll start with you.
Oh, well, it's really sad. I guess like why can't they kiss is a big question, but also I guess kissing is not for everyone. Yeah, I would say depending on the relationship, kissing could be very important. I know people are really big with like, they're a good kisser, they're a bad kisser, and you would want someone who's a good kisser over someone who's a bad kisser. So,
You would.
yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone would.
And how? Well, I don't know about that, Eunice. But how about do you look at them when you're kissing? Is the gaze important? Like you watch these shows, and you probably say, God, I mean, does it create expectations? Like you look at these romantic scenes, Gone with the Wind, or Sex Life, whatever it is. I mean, do you feel like you have to live up to that, or I mean, is the gaze important too? Looking at your partner, whether you're kissing them or not, having that kind of communication.
I didn't think about that. I don't know. I feel like I should pass this question on to Dylan or Chris or something.
All right. So Eunice will give you something to think about. Let's just pass it on to Dylan. Go ahead, Dylan.
Yeah. Me personally, I really don't think it's like the first kiss, or it's like the big moment, like, I mean, I always get nervous, but I mean, in my expectation, like in every experience that's happened, I've probably never had a good first kiss with anyone, whether they were a good kisser or I was good, or not. I just think it's like kind of awkward. It's always awkward. I don't know, like, if anyone can relate.
Yeah, but how about when you get into a relationship like you now in a relationship? Is it important once you get beyond the first kiss to have that type of intimacy?
Yeah, I think so. Because I'm also a physical person, like I like kissing.
Yeah.
You know, in public, in the house, in whatever, wherever.
Yeah.
I think it's important.
How about looking at your partner and giving him that really nice, loving stare with those eyes and gazing at them?
I don't think I do that. I mean, I don't think that's really for me. Not really. But
Not that important?
No.
No. Okay, so
Don, 1 in 5 married couples can go up to a week without kissing.
Wow, did you hear that stat? 1 in every 5 couples go a week without kissing.
And when they do, this is a.
Can you hear Mike now? I mean,
can you hear me? Yeah,
okay.
This is a survey from Huffington Post, and they said, and then when they do finally lock lips, sometimes it can last only about like 5 seconds for like 40% of them.
So there's no lingering.
Yeah, so it's definitely a challenge for married people as well as kids, I guess.
This is something, by the way, that is not discussed. I don't hear anyone talking about this. I don't read a lot about it. So you are talking about something that most people don't talk about. So Chris, how about you?
As to how important kissing is in a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And looking at your partner when you're talking to them, when they're touching you or you're touching them. I mean, really allowing yourself to embrace completely.
Yeah, for me that's definitely important. But I don't think it has to be for everybody. I think it definitely just goes with your preference. You can like that or not like that. I don't think either one's make or break. I don't think that the 1 out of 5 married couples who aren't kissing, I don't know if that's like a bad thing, that those people just might not like kissing that much.
What we always like about you, Chris, is you're so non-judgmental. You really, Mike, he's really non-judgmental, isn't he?
He's a very open-minded.
Very open-minded guy. So, Chris, I'm going to take a risk with you. You have a TikTok piece that's out there. You and your girlfriend, and I give you, by the way, I don't know if she's watching, but if she is, I'm telling you, I give her a lot of credit because you guys really have worked out in your own communication ways to find closeness physically, emotionally, in a beautiful way. And we've talked about that. And I don't know, but there was a TikTok thing that got how many hits?
Like 20 million.
20 million. Can you share with us what it was or what you think happened with that particular TikTok piece?
Yeah, it was me and my girlfriend before we were dating. We were just hanging out, and it just kind of took off on TikTok. What was the question about it, Doctor?
I mean, like, what do you think it was, and the position that I think it was the way you were positioned physically with each other. You found a compatible physical, creative way of relating, and people for some reason seem to like it. I guess. I mean, why did you have so many people?
Yeah, the video we did was there's a trend to kind of lay between your partner's legs, and they kind of like can play with your hair or whatnot.
Touch,
we did
oxytocin.
Yeah, so there's a lot of physical touch. So we posted that, and I think a lot of people liked that. They kind of wish they had that. There were a lot of comments saying like, "Oh, like this is what I want." So there's kind of definitely that aspect with why it took off. I think people were kind of like happy to see that.
What I love about it is the creativity and the desire to explore, and of course, it's helpful when you like the person you're with. Not only do you like them, but you love them, right? So, what do you think about that, Dylan? About that piece of Chris's life and the appeal it has. What do you think was so appealing about that? That's a lot of people that watch that, Chris. My God. Wow.
What about the video of like them like touching?
His TikTok image. I mean, they found a creative position where they can relate, and that's not even penetration or heavy duty sex. That's just finding a way to have fun, explore, and just do that. A lot of people seem to find that appealing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? What do you think that's about?
I mean, I think sometimes, like even me on TikTok, sometimes like I'll be scrolling through and I'll be like, oh wow, that's really cool, or oh, like I'm gonna try that, or oh, I wish I had that. I think that a lot of people.
Are you freezing on me, Dylan? What a time for Dylan did good. I'm so glad you're unfrozen. This is too good.
Yes.
Can you say that? What's that, Mike?
She just froze for a second.
All right, now that you're warm and not frozen again, can you finish what you were saying?
Okay. Well, what did you hear?
Like you were saying that you were noticing, like other people, sometimes you notice other things. Say, man, maybe I'll try that.
Yeah. And I think.
Relating.
yeah, I think that people, kind of what they want maybe, and they like it or they comment and just connects
Hmm.
to them and thing, and I think that video maybe made a lot of people, be like, oh wow, I want a relationship with. You really want someone I could do those things with, and they feel the need
Spice
to
it up a little.
comment. And,
Spice it up,
yeah.
right? Spice it up, make it fun, have some freedom. Don't stay in the box. What do you think, Eunice, about this?
Yeah,
What about in your world?
I feel like the main attraction to that video is just that a lot of people, no matter the gender, sexual orientation, the age, they want to be loved. And when they see a video of two people loving each other, it's makes them feel lonely, but also, and it could also make them feel happy for those people, or maybe it gives some people hope because they think, oh, maybe I'll have that one day. So yeah, I think it just has a lot to do with the fact that people want to love someone and they want to be loved also, and they want to do that in the most sincere, genuine way that they can. And I guess that's what the video showed.
Well, what do you think, Chris? What do you think about what Eunice just said?
I think it's pretty spot on.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Can you like somebody? You have to like somebody and love somebody to have physical intimacy with them? No? Please tell us about that, because I always find it interesting, because I think that for me personally, I'm one of these guys, like, I have to have that emotional closeness and like the person that I get intimate with. But
Yeah,
are you that way, Dylan?
yeah.
Oh, so you're like me that way. But Chris, so you're disagreeing with that, it sounds like. You don't think that has to be?
No, I don't think that has to be. I think you can definitely have relationships and, they're outside of your emotional connection to that person.
And I know that there's makeup sex. I'm always amazed at how people can do that one. But how do you account for people being able to do that and separate those two?
I think that's what makes relationships special, is that you have both those aspects. You have the sexual connection and you also have the emotional connection. But I mean, if you're not in a relationship, you could definitely have those exclusively. You could also have an emotional connection with someone and not have any sexual connection.
It's truly an amazing thing to think about. And what do you think about that, Eunice?
Yeah, I would definitely say physical a physical relationship is very different to a relationship in general. You could even be in a committed relationship and then also have a sexual relationship with another person. That's
Really?
definitely possible. Yeah, I mean that's what open relationships are, and that's how they work.
How do you control the ego and jealousy with that?
Just communication, I think. I know there's a big stigma around open relationships, and it's just like, oh, that person just wants to cheat on me. But that's not necessarily how it is. And I just want to highlight, especially when it comes to people who are part of the LGBTQ community, um, there's a lot for us to explore when it comes to sex because, well, there's so many genders out there and we're attracted to more than one gender. Like I could say, for example, someone is bisexual and they are in a relationship with a cis het man, but they want to explore more of like having sex with a woman and what it's like to be bisexual and to have sex with someone who's not a man. That could definitely be possible as long as they communicate with their boyfriend, husband, whatever, that they want to do that.
And what do you think? Do you think that it takes a certain amount of security to not be threatened by that, or I mean, what makes it? Because in the straight world, I think there's a lot of possessiveness and not an acceptance of that kind of thing. Is it different in the LGBTQ community? You think with that, it's less possessive or more? Is it different?
I wouldn't want to generalize, but personally, when I talk about my relationships versus when I discuss it with someone who is a cis het person, it does seem like there's a bit more possessiveness and ownership when it comes to hetero relationships. But that doesn't apply to all of them. I mean, there are open relationships there are open relationships in hetero relationships too. So Yeah.
Again, it's very individual about how you want to explore and live your life. There isn't any one way to do it, is there? That's what we're learning on Kids Are Talking, right, Chris?
Mm.
What do you think about what Eunice is saying about that in the LGBTQT community?
Yeah, well, I think what she was talking about, open relationships, really was true and makes sense. I can't speak that much about the LGBTQ community and their experience with open relationships. Again, I don't make any generalizations. But yeah, open relationships exist in all types of relationships.
We're in a freer world now, isn't it? There's much more social media that exposes us. There's kids are seeing stuff earlier with sexting and pornography. There was an article about pornography, how there's a guy at Dalton School and a Columbia prep school in New York City. He got a lot of controversy over the fact that he was teaching pornography as something for kids to learn and get exposed to. What do you think about that?
I didn't get a chance to read the article, but I do know that pornography is really pervasive with the younger generation nowadays because of access to the internet.
Exactly.
And it's really harmful. It kind of destroys a lot of people's images about what a healthy relationship looks like.
And it feels like it really creates expectations.
Yeah, it can be damaging down the road.
So, Dylan, what do you think about Eunice and what she's saying in her world and in terms of exploring? You're in obviously a monogamous relationship. I don't know, how would your boyfriend feel if you decided you wanted to just go off and explore another relationship or vice versa?
Yeah, I don't think he would be too happy.
You wouldn't like it?
No.
But
kind of like Chris said, like I can't really necessarily speak that much on it. But I mean, there are a bunch of people out there who do, and I think that, if you can have a relationship with multiple people, you are definitely secure with yourself and who you are. And
that's the key, isn't it? To be secure with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just get it right this time. Friends with benefits. I've always thought it was sort of cool, actually, if you could, do that and have that activity, and it could be you can be friends with somebody and do that as long as you're not hurting anybody else.
Yeah. I mean, I had an experience with friends with benefits.
Oh, you did? How was that for you?
I don't like to have sex with someone who I'm not going to end up in a relationship with. I'm not, for me, I can't do the no strings. I can't do, a random person. I'm just not that type of person. If I'm going to have sex with someone, it needs to be with someone who I love or, I really like or I want to be in a relationship with.
So what made you do that? Obviously, it didn't work out the way you liked it, I assume.
No.
What made you decide? What made you decide? I mean, good for you. You tried. What made you try it?
Honestly, I was kind of lonely. I just got out of a relationship, and I was like, why not? Maybe I would try. Maybe I do like it, and it obviously didn't work out.
You tried it.
I tried it, but now I know that I can never do it again.
There you go. And Chris, what about you? What do you think about open relationships? You're not in one.
Yeah, I think as long as you communicate with your partner, it can be done successfully. I think it's like any other relationship. It's just a nuance to it. So.
It's really important to communicate, isn't it, in your relationship, to be honest, to be real, and be able to feel that you're going to be accepted and really be embraced for who you are and be respected and have the empathy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's this new show. I haven't watched it yet. I keep wanting to every night. I haven't gotten to it, called It's Sex Life, I think is the name of it, isn't it?
Sex Life.
Sex
Yeah,
Life. God, I got
Life.
that right. Thank God. It's interesting because we've often thought of guys as being the sexual free, the ones that want sex more. They're the ones that are the horny, desirable people, But now you get more like this. What I understand is about a middle-aged woman, suburban woman. And apparently she loves having that in her life. So I'm just curious, Eunice, what do you think about that? It seems like the stereotype has always been that women don't masturbate, don't get vibrators, don't enjoy fantasy as much as men do. And that seems to be changing, or has that always been the case?
I feel like I don't think the fact that women became more sexually active or sexually open. I think it's just that as a society, we have just silenced women so much, and we have created them to be this very specific, um, doll-like figure that they don't want sex. All women don't want sex. All women are this and that.
Right.
But now that we're at this age, we're getting so exposed to so many different things through social media. We're finally seeing actually women cannot just be applied in this one specific category, because just like how men are in all varieties, some men like sex more than other men. Women are also just like that.
Thank God for this. God bless America, right? What do you think about what Dylan and Chris? Just give a very quick response. We're running out of time. I feel like I could do a whole other show on this, but
No, I 100% agree. I think it's always been there. I think it's just because, of what life was before, now. No, like, maybe we didn't feel like women didn't feel like comfortable expressing it necessarily.
women masturbate, women have vibrators. It's really okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And Chris, what do you think about that?
I think obviously both genders experience the same sexual attraction, and there's different levels to it. But I don't think it has to do with gender. It's just about who the person is and what they like.
There's hope for America. Right? There's hope with freedom, openness. I'll throw one quick one in. I think a real important part of a relationship also is being able to resolve conflict. And I think sometimes it depends on where we came from, what our origins are. If we've seen parents or other people resolve conflict, that's part of that whole communication thing. How important is it for a relationship to be able to talk openly and resolve conflict? Chris, take a crack at it quickly.
It's huge. That's a huge part of a relationship. If you can't do that, I think it's kind of a red flag.
But it means you have to talk.
Yeah.
You can't carry it inside. You've got to get it out there and talk. And you have to be able to read your partner a little bit and not make assumptions and check it out and make sure that what's going on is really going on, right?
Yeah, they have to be able to vocalize for themselves.
It also helps what you've observed in your own childhood with your own parents and your own origins, don't you think?
Yeah.
Eunice?
Yeah. Communication is so important. And well, if you can't resolve problems in your relationship, then you shouldn't be in it.
So conflict resolution is very important. And Dylan?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I personally am not. I need to work on being open about talking about things in like general with my in a relationship. But I mean, I think it's very important as well.
And what about codependency? Because the New York Times had an article. Post that article, Mike, if you can. Yeah, the joy we've been missing. They talked about the Declaration of Independence versus the Declaration of Interdependence. Do you understand what codependent? Can somebody just tell us what codependency? Your opinion about what codependency is first, in terms of, because that's considered unhealthy in a relationship.
I kind of think a little bit, because I don't think you should necessarily need to lean on or depend on the other person.
So it's good to be able to be your own person and not let someone else define who you are. And Chris and Eunice, quickly. Chris?
Yeah, it definitely is not a good thing in a relationship to be codependent on your partner. It's not something you should strive to be.
Yeah. And Eunice?
Yeah, not good at all. It's very toxic, and for people who are in a codependent relationship, it's very hard to recognize that, and I really wish them well on that.
It's a tough struggle. That's why this Declaration of Interdependence in this article struck me as a very interesting. We could have a whole other show about that, about the importance of mutuality and being your own person in a relationship and being able to share and not just feed off one person, but feed off each other, that share the power, share the mutuality, right? Have an emotional contagion where you're really infecting each other with connection and like-mindedness and sharing, I call it soulmating, right? Really being connected. That's something to aim for all of us, isn't it? Anything you want to say, take home from the show that you want people to know as we're closing down now? Is there anything in particular that should be the message you want to give out to people, Chris, tonight? Just in a quick thing, just say what that would be.
Communication. It's really important.
Dylan?
Yeah, just make sure you're open with whoever you're with. and you guys want the same things.
Eunice?
Yeah. During a relationship and even before, ask for consent in anything that you do.
Ask for consent. We don't want to be like Bill Cosby or somebody like that, right? We don't want the Me Too thing going at us, right? Always know that you're on the same page and that there's an understanding and a consent and a mutual respect. You like the word interdependence, by the way, the Declaration of Interdependence? What do you think of that word? Does it do anything for you?
Clever. It's very clever.
You think what?
I think it's clever.
Because?
Well, the way that it's kind of like the usual title is the Declaration of Independence, but then they change it up to the Declaration of Interdependence.
It's okay to depend and be needy as long as it's not over the top and it's balanced, right, Chris? Dylan? All right, we got to stop. Yeah. Yes, Dylan, anything else? That's it, right?
We're out of time.
We got to stop.
The network's going to kill us.
The network's going to kill us. My God, they're buzzing to get on to the next show. So thank you so much, Chris, Eunice, Dylan, for a lively discussion on a subject that we don't get to talk about enough, Mike.
Well, now we have. So now we have a whole nother springboard for who knows what to talk about.
I might want to get you three back. Would you come back? There's so much I didn't get to. So I want to, again, thank you from all of us at Kids Are Talking. We'll see you next week, Mike. This was really a good one.
Yeah, this was a good one. So you guys, if you want to just hang out backstage for a couple of minutes, we'll just debrief after the show, and we'll be going offline now. So
we ended on pretty much on time tonight, didn't we?
We ended on time.
Wow.
We did good. The kids had a lot to say, and I mean, I think everyone. I'm just so impressed with how respectful people are with other people's points of view,
and so open-minded.
Yes.
And non-judgmental.
Yes.
And so free to explore and try to understand the otherness of the other.
There's just so much out there in today's generation of kids that wasn't there, especially relating to the sex and the relationships, and I'm just blown away how much there, and just like you were saying with the porn, like it's everywhere, and there's a whole expectation of what a relationship should be, and then what you see in TV or whatever these videos are, or whatever.
It's hard, right, Mike? I mean, that's hard.
Yeah,
you have to, all these choices and exposures make you measure up, feel like you have to measure up or compare yourself to. So let's maybe pursue this subject.
Well, let's see. Let's see. Next week's up in the air. So
it's up in the air.
We will see everybody next week. Again, like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to be on the show, just drop us a note. And from all of us at Kids Are Talking, keep talking.
Keep talking. Kids Are Talking.